me, Kelly. First things first, elephant in the room. I'm off the wagon. It is what it is. Is it for the best? Who's to say? Am I okay? Who's to say? Just know I'm not doing hard drugs, and this is just a beer. So that's that on that. Second thing, I'm in a new setting. It's literally just same room flipped. And third, if you hear background noises, my parents are downstairs watching some like old-timey movie. So that's the deal with that. But I'm really excited to this video. This is gonna be a new series on my channel. If you're new, welcome. I do a clusterfuck of videos here. I am most known for my yeast infection video, Coochie Queen right here. That video, by the way, you guys, I did that like almost 3 years ago, and it has like 14K views, which might not be a lot to some people, but I'm just like a regular bitch from North Dakota, and I'm just walking around. Meanwhile, 14,000 people have seen me have a yeast infection, which is pretty crazy to me. I'm thinking about doing a video like reacting to that, because that was a long time ago. That was a lot of hair colors ago, a lot of relationships ago, a lot of cars ago. Like, I've lived a life. I think I've lived in 3 different towns since then, driven probably 4 cars since my life's chaotic. 4 cars, probably at least 2 boyfriends, 2 or 3. I mean, is what it is, right? So it's been a long time. I'm thinking about doing it again in a minute, like not getting a yeast infection again, watching the video again. So that's what's up. Also, I got like a little bit of lighting here, which is really exciting to me. I need to remember not to like look directly into it, but I have a mini ring light. That's cool, that's fun, that's exciting. So anyways, after cleaning house, I don't know why people say that, it's kind of annoying. After those quick announcements, I'm going to get right into this video. I am talking about my job experiences now, because I've worked for so many different companies. I've had so many different jobs. I've cleaned, I've been a cashier, I've worked in a kitchen, I've served food, I've been a teacher, I've been anything under the sun, you guys. Pretty much everything. Well, not really a receptionist, but I worked in an art gallery. I've done all these different jobs, so I just wanted to talk about them. And people are always just like, you've worked everywhere. When I tell them about the jobs I've worked, like, I just bring it up in casual conversation, like, oh, when I worked at Cold Stone, oh, when I worked at Subway, oh, when I worked at Kohl's. Like, it is a lot, especially since I am 25, going on 26 in a couple months, and I've worked so many different places, so people are shocked. So anyways, I get it. I get the shockedness, I guess, but I'm under the mindset, like, if I don't like my job, I'm gonna quit, because like, why am I wasting my time working for people who I don't like, doing a job that I don't like, and then I don't get paid for that well? So that's kind of my mindset now. Right now, I'm doing a job that I love, and so that's kind of the light at the end of the tunnel here, is that I am in a good job right now, a good field, and I like what I do now, but this is all about the past. So without further ado, this is my Subway work experience. Cheers. So when I started working at Subway, I think I was like 20, like this was before I was 21. This is surprising, but I was a virgin. So I was still like super innocent. I didn't drink, I wasn't having sex, I wasn't doing drugs, like I wasn't doing a single thing, right? But I was working at Subway, and I think it's like really important to like give you the context of like the type of person I was at the time, so you can kind of understand like the job and like how it meshed with my lifestyle. Maybe if you were in a different lifestyle looking to work here. I don't know why, but if you're looking to work here, that would depend, you know, like if you're a mom, you have kids, or if you're just a high schooler, you know. I just wanted to give you my my little deal was that I was 20, I wasn't in school, I'm working at Subway. Like, I had just got the job because I had like dropped out of college and I needed something to do, so that's what I decided to do. People are probably watching this video to just know what it's like, how much you get paid, and what to say in the interview. If that's what you're looking for, I'm very sorry. This is gonna be super long-winded and way more information than you had asked for. But I did the interview. It was with this guy, and he was stressed out. Like, you can tell he was stressed. And at one point he even said he had hemorrhoids. So that's how stressed out he was. Listen, his name is, we'll just call him John, and John was not having a good time. And I remember I did the interview, he didn't ask me any questions. He's just like, oh, okay, so you live here, you live down the street? I'm like, yeah. He's like, so you shouldn't have a problem getting to work? I said no. And then he's like, okay, you worked a restaurant before? I said no, because I hadn't. I had just worked at a nursing home at this point. And he's like, oh, that's okay, it's easy, like whatever. And he's like, you can work with people? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, do you leave drama at home? Okay, I guess this is questions, but it's like not typical. He's like, oh, you leave drama at home, like you don't argue with people? I'm like, no. And he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna hire you, let's do paperwork, like whatever. And I was like, okay, fine. So that was the interview process. It was mostly about like what I'm like personality wise, I guess. And I was chill, like, even though I was in a different place in life and I hadn't had as many experiences as I do now. Like, I was 20, I'm 25 now, so I basically like chill, don't give a fuck, right? So that's kind of how that went. And then I just did paperwork right then and there. And I remember I was going to the store because I needed shoes for work, and I got a phone call and it said, hi Kelly, actually we're like really in need of people, so can you come in tonight? And so that's how I started working the same day. I did the interview. When you start immediately at a job, or they do paperwork, or they hire you on spot, that is how you know. That is how you know that you're about to be involved in some fuckery. So that's kind of how that went. I started, they're fine, they're interesting. There's one guy who did drug deals like on the clock. People would be like, hey, is Daniel here? These are all fake names. Hey, is Daniel here? I'm like, yeah, let me go get him. And then he would just go do his thing and come back. I mean, multiple streams of income, I guess, but I don't know. And then there's this girl, and she was very, she was a lot. We call her Crazy Lauren. And Crazy Lauren, she just was very hot-headed, and she would get very upset. Like, she'd get really upset, but it was easy come, easy go. Like, she would be screaming at a customer, and then she'd be back, and she's like, you can work from home, do-do-do-do. Like, she flipped like a switch, let me tell you. And she couldn't catch a break. Like, I kind of felt bad for her, because looking back now, it's like she wasn't so crazy. Like, this job was too much for minimum wage and for sandwiches. So, you know, I feel for her now, but you know, she flipped like a switch. And then one day her car got stolen. Like, her car literally got stolen. And she saw it get stolen. This is not funny. She saw it get stolen from the drive-thru window. So she starts crying. She has a panic attack, and like, I feel really bad for her. That's her fucking car. And then she calls her boss. She's like, I can't do this, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I'll close for you, even though I had never closed before. And she's like, okay, Kelly's here, she'll close for me. And he's like, I'll be there. Cause like, I had never closed before, but she, you know, she flips like a switch. So then she got back to her normal self, and she was fine. So I was working with her, I was working with the drug dealer, and then I was working with this evil lady. Like, the thing about Subway is that they always are like rotating people around. So that's that. They're always rotating people around. So there's this one lady, and her name was Tony, and I got to see, that's her actual name. But she never in a million years gonna see this video, so I don't give a fuck. But she was mean. Like, Tony, you're fucking mean. Like, she always wanted things done a certain way, and if you didn't do it a certain way, she'd be like, I have to do it myself. Like, really a bitch. And I knew what kind of car she drove. She drove a Ford Focus, and when I seen it like at the store, I would freak out. I'd be like, no, no, I can't go in. Tony's in there. Like, it was just awful. So I always hated when she went. This is just a list of things I remember. Like, this was 5 years ago, so I don't remember a lot. But yeah, this was 5 years ago. So we had her, we had the hemorrhoid guy, we had the drug dealer, we had Crazy Lauren. You know, that was that for a little bit. And then we had my work besties. It was this guy, and he always came in with hickeys. And then this girl, and she was really cool. And so it'd be the three of us on the weekends, usually, like every single weekend, and we'd just be hanging out. They rolled out some hash browns, but listen, they never put them on our menu board, so we would just eat them. Like, for real, we would just pop them in the toaster oven thing and eat them and make them for ourselves, and it was really fucking good. So that's where all those went. And then, yeah, on the weekends, they were mostly hungover, but I wasn't involved in all that, so I was just chilling, eating my hash browns, and that was that. Like, it was actually a really chill job. Like, I didn't hate this one. And then John quit, I guess. I don't know, his ass was just torn up enough, so he had to leave. And then we got this new manager named Godfrey. Now, Godfrey's not gonna see this video either, so I mean, what's up, Godfrey? But if he does, you know. But he was something else. He was from South Africa, and we don't know his story. We don't know how he just like ended up in North Dakota working at a Subway. We have zero idea. Like, we would try and, like, you know, hey, why are you, But, like, we never got a solid answer. And at one point, he just vanished. Like vanished. Like, he wasn't there anymore. And we were like, where did he go? Again, no solid answer, which is fine. Like, keep work in your private life private. Like, that's fine. But, like, we didn't have a manager for like a month, and we had nobody to make the schedule. Like, we just kind of kept like the same schedule every week and just hope somebody would like show up, because he wasn't there. We had no manager. And then he just came back, you know. But like the Adele song, like "Hello from the Other Side," had just come out, and so we had this like whiteboard, and we just wrote "Hello from the other side, Godfrey and me must have called 1,000 times." Like, it was just too much. And then he just came back like nothing happened, and we were like, oh hey. But he was a flirt, and like looking back, I don't know if he was flirting with me or not. Like, I have zero idea, like none. But he would always ask me, he'd be like, how old are you? And I'd be like, 20. Like, I wish you were 21, because then I could buy you a drink, which is like, I don't know, like, it sounds flirtatious, but I was ugly as fuck, so I have no idea. He was probably like in his 30s, but yeah. And then he would give me Starbucks gift cards too, which I was like, is he flirting or not? I have no idea. And he drove a fucking Range Rover, which is like, if you're a Subway manager, how the fuck do you drive a Range Rover? One day I got to ride in it with him to do a catering, and mind you, we didn't do caterings. We didn't. But he said, we never say no to money. So we did a catering that day. It was cool, but he never like tried anything on me or anything of that matter. So I still have no idea. But when I quit, because I quit to go back to college, he played this song called Wayman Song, I think. It's like, I'm gonna miss that smile, gonna miss you, my friend, even though I don't know, I do it all again. So he played that when I left. He played it on repeat. This man loved to play things on repeat, not gonna lie. Like, he played that on repeat the day I left, and he played How Deep Is Your Love? That's what it was. He put it on, he's like, this is my shit. And then he played How Deep Is Your Love? Let the ocean, like, on repeat for a whole fucking day. Like, this man, he just loved music. And like, honestly, me too. Like, that's something that I picked up from him. I think it's like, and I did this before, but now I really do it. Like, if I like a song, I'm just like, yeah, repeat all day long. So yeah. But yeah, I don't know, like, he was cool. I enjoyed his presence. But yeah, one day he came in to buy food, and he went through the drive-thru, and nobody had any idea what he was saying. So I'm like, huh? What'd you say? And then when he finally got up, he said, you got to be shitting me. I'm like, he was just in a bad mood. So whatever, but we got him his food and he was fine. And that's all I really remember about Godfrey, honestly. But he was a character. He really was. And that's all I remember about Subway too. I remember the people the most, but working there, not a whole lot. Like, the customers were mean as fuck. I'm just gonna say that. But it was what it was. Like, it's Subway. Like, it's gonna be ratchet. And they only have like 2 people working at a time. Like, maybe one. Like, is bad. So if you're at Subway, always cut them some slack. Like, I know it seems like a lot of times people are being unprofessional and like this, that, and the third, and like maybe they are, but like, it's a dumbass job. Like, I'm just gonna be real with you. It's a dumbass job. So take it for what it is and just be nice to the people. Like, you can make your own sandwich, bitch. So like, you know, you're lazy, so just, you know, appreciate it. So that's that job. Like, the meats, they're all deli meat. They come in a box. The vegetables all come in a box, but we slice the tomatoes, the onions, I think, and that's about it. The bread is frozen. You stretch it out to be a foot long, and listen, the stuff they cook the bread in never gets changed, ever. The cookies are good. They're really frozen, but the trick is to undercook them, and that's how they get really good. So if people cook them too much, they might not be as good, but when they're undercooked, they're really good. That's it. Like, if you do work at Subway, if you work for, I think, 4 hours, you get a 6-inch, and then if you work 8 hours, you get a foot long. So that's that. Everyone just kind of had their go-to sandwich. They would eat every time. We would pay for it sometimes, not pay for it other times. I think I usually paid for it. Well, because it was free. So I think it's like if you added additional items, and I think I did pay for that because I was 20 and I like had a conscience and like all that shit. So that's kind of how that went. BOGO day was a bitch. I remember we were up all night long prepping for this BOGO day, and then when it came, we all worked like long shifts, 14-hour shifts, something like that. It was too much, and I just can't. I just never again. Like, no. That's all I remember about Subway. Interview, fine. People we work with, interesting. Pay was okay. If you need hours, you're gonna get fucking hours at Subway. Like, I will tell you that. The job is easy as fuck. The only bad part is the customers. And yeah, you might do a catering if someone asks you to. And if bill day comes, just ask for it off. Like, I have no idea what to tell you. There is a high turnover rate, so be on the lookout for that. And you know, your managers might be a little interesting. They might have hemorrhoids, you know, they might be a little crazy, a little sus, but that's Subway. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Kohl's is next week.